Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy Nate Weitzer, holding it down on the East Coast. And we are looking at tonight's Friday night NBA slate, Nate. We got this one. We're specifically looking at the Nuggets hosting the Hawks. Make sure you like and subscribe to that page, as we will be bringing you a gift card opportunity here in just a moment. And make sure to check out Nate's great article up on playpicks.com as well, with some best bets, player props for you. And we've got a couple other videos for you today, as well as that player props video we always love to bring you. So make sure you check those out. And if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find those listings in your area, such as what we've got here. Nate, let's jump into it.
Yeah, the Nuggets are -4 at home. It's holding pretty steady despite the return of Nikola Jokic and the Hawks' continued struggles, regardless of any, but especially on the road. And the rest of the games tonight, we got Knicks -2 at Hornets, Bucks -2 at Celtics, Pistons +5 at Cavs, Nets -9 at Pelicans. We got a video up about the Nets probably covering there. Kings -4 at Thunder, Suns -1 at Grizzlies, Blazers -6 at Rockets, the Mavs -2.5 at the Spurs. The Bulls are +5 at Warriors, and the Wolves are +2.5 at those Lakers. So Nikola Jokic back after a one-game suspension. The Nuggets still handled business at home without him, beating the Pacers by a slim margin, showcasing their depth, really, without Michael Porter Jr., who's going to be out for a while, it seems, with that back issue. But he hasn't been playing well regardless. Their offense sputtering, partially because it seems like that's a recurring back issue that, was the major thing that red flag teams in the draft. Yeah. Regardless, this is Nikola Jokic's team, and it'll be interesting to see how he responds after getting the cheap shot from Markieff Morris after sitting out a game, and after his brothers and Marcus Morris got into a nice little Twitter beef. How he'll come out and defend the family.
I mean, the Jokic brothers have to be -4,000 there, but yeah.
In a fight?
Yeah.
They're all like 7 feet, but it's a long reach. But in any case, this might be more about how bad the Hawks have been than about how good the Nuggets have been at home. Their defense is lights out for sure. But Hawks, 1-7, league worst defensive rating over their last 8 games, the second worst net rating in that span. They have not covered in 10 straight road games. They have 6 straight road losses, and they have not covered in 5 of their last 6 against the better Western Conference. This is the only thing that scares me about this game, is that everything points in the obvious direction of the Nuggets covering. So if you are at all scared about the spread, about the Hawks giving it a close game, we mentioned in that Nets preview, tease the Nets down to 5 or 6 points, make it a pick'em game here. It seems very unlikely that Denver's going to lose this game as Jokic comes back. And also look at his individual performance there. There's some great bonuses at FanDuel, including a triple-double in a win for +900 from the Joker. I like him to pile up assists. 8+ assists in a win is +320, because you're looking at a Hawks team that gives up the second highest assist-to-turnover ratio, which is not good news when you face a guy like Jokic.
Yeah, it's funny that we're talking about the point center, the 7'1" dude, as the guy who's going to rack up assists tonight, but that's what he does. And Clint Capella has proven to be a very good low post presence for the Hawks. Number one, there's nobody that's a good enough low post presence to stop Jokic's moves down low. Number two, when Jokic plays from the high post, Clint Capella is on an island right at that point. I don't like him having to guard anybody for 15 feet from the top to the basket. So I think that's where Joker will live. I think that'll lead to a ton of assists. I think he saw a bit of what his team is capable of when he doesn't play, as they did surprisingly to some, beat the Pacers at home by 3 on that game-winning bucket by Bones. Get to bring him up again. Maybe some more time for the Rook. But the depth on this team and the addition of Jeff Green and last year the addition of JaMychal Green and just a bunch of bodies that are big defensive players at this point. It's crazy, but the Denver Nuggets are right now the best defensive team in the league. And that's kind of what we're banking on here. Obviously, them at home. I do feel like there's a zag coming for the Hawks. Hawks. I mean, we saw them go on streaks after streak last year, 7-game losing streak, 8-game win streak, 5-game loss, 5-game win, over and over and over again, streaky in that sense. And it's a lot about when they get hot from three, right? They're shooting a ton of threes right now. And it's really, that's a little bit too much of what they're living and dying on. You're seeing a lot less pick and roll with Trae Young. Did a little bit of nerding out and realized that last year he was averaging a few more pick and rolls a game than he is this year, which is weird because Clint Capella hasn't missed pretty much any time. John Collins has missed a few, which hurts that. But really, it comes down to the fact that the Nuggets defense, not only is it as good as it is at home, it's specifically stopping people from scoring threes, right? They're the second best 3-point defense in the league at home and really on the road at this point. They're not giving them up to anybody in terms of their attempts. The attempts are down, the 3-pointers made by their opponent way down. Their overall field goal percentage and 3-point percentages are all way below the league average, as they're best in opponent field goal percentage at home. And like we said, it's really just a commitment to the defensive end that they've really increased this year. And Joker at this point, still shooting about 60% effective field goal percentage, averaging mid to high 20s, to 11 boards and those 6 to 7 assists a game. So there's no reason to think that there's anything on the Hawks side that's going to stop them, not just their defense in general, but their defense on the road, as we mentioned, and in the midst of a really brutal stretch and road trip right now. But there's nothing going on with Atlanta that tells me this is the game that they turn things around. This would have to be a complete sort of 180 for them in what they've been doing, specifically on defense, but even on offense, in terms of getting those fast break points, not anything that they've done recently. And look, they're not shooting the three well because they're not passing the ball and they're giving up a ton of assists, like you said. So I'm not even scared by that 4.5. I just want to use this game to help the Nets get down to under 10 and feel really good about that one, and then just go for it from there, man.
Yeah, or you could tease the total up because the Nuggets are winning with defense. You could just take Nuggets and the under, stick into this game, and get plus 170. The total right now at 215. A little scary because of how bad the Hawks have been on defense, but if you want to go under on their 105 points, the Nuggets haven't given up more than 98 in 3 straight home games, right? So that's what they're averaging basically on the season, regardless of venue. And Trae Young, without the foul calls, without whatever else is going on, he just can't find his offense this year. And this is not a good matchup for him. Monte Morris, PJ Dozier, Bones Island. There's just so much range and length in that backcourt for the Nuggets, as long as they don't play Campazzo, which they don't necessarily have to. That it's just going to be difficult for him to find his rhythm in the pick and roll. And for him to get hot from downtown, which the Hawks have not done. Bojan Bogdan is questionable as well. That's going to hurt their offense. And as we mentioned, they don't have a lot of rhythm with all those wing players. It's sort of a glut of resources where Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter missed so much last season, and now they're not sure about the role. And it's just really a work in progress for the Hawks. And I think there is going to be a time to capitalize on their value, but I don't think it is tonight. Just keep an eye on them, because if they lose yet again the next time that they face, a middling Eastern Conference team, we might be able to get a nice small spread for Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're holding on them right now until we're ready to buy. We'll keep selling until their stock rises for sure. The one thing I did want to add here as well, I want to get that gift card opportunity out to people for the Joker. We're looking at what he's going to do tonight in his game back. So we were looking for his points, rebounds, and assists combined for Nikola Jokic. Make sure to like and subscribe to the page so you're eligible to jump in the comments and tell us what you think his total points, rebounds, and assists will be tonight. I'm going to lay a little bit on that triple-double and a win for the Nuggies, just because I do think he's got this weird chip on his shoulder tonight after some of the talk has been a cheap shot against Marcus Morris, but it was equal cheap shots on both sides, so I'm not really worried about it. Either way, that is all the time we have for today. I'll make sure to check out the other couple videos we have on tonight's nice Friday night NBA slate, and until we see you next, happy betting.